Good morning guys and welcome back to my channel. So as you guys know, I have been on a mission to get back to my minimalist roots for a while now, and I have been making some really good progress at my house. I have decluttered so many things. I've decluttered lots of shoes. I've gotten rid of about half of my handbags. I went through my clothing. I did the whole rest of the house. I was able to get rid of some decor, a bookshelf, coffee mugs, you name it. I'm going back to basics. I had just been feeling very, very overwhelmed, and I have shared with you guys for a long time that my ultimate goal was to get down to about 5 perfumes. For a long time, it seemed like it would be an impossible feat, but I have been able to finally get down to my final 5 fragrances. These are perfumes that I love. I have been wearing on repeat. They're ones I actually reach for. I'm not in the market to be buying any perfumes at the moment. I'm going to share some more thoughts about that with you guys in this video, but if you're curious to see which 5 perfumes remain out of the hundreds that I have owned over the last few years, then stay tuned. So as you guys know, I like to keep my perfumes stored away from heat and light, so I do keep them in my closet. I keep them on this absolutely beautiful bookshelf that I got from Amazon. I will try to remember to link it down below for you guys. I really like it because not only does it house all of my shoes, but it also has this really lovely wooden top which can hold a handbag and some flowers or perfumes or jewelry box or whatever it is that you want to keep on the top shelf. It just adds to the closet aesthetic. I think it makes it look very, very nice. I'm very, very happy with my final results here, you guys. If you're interested in more decluttering content, check out the last few videos that have been uploaded, and there will be more coming up, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys. I'm also looking forward to sharing with you some of my fashion finds. I have been having a little bit more of a change in my style as well, wanting to wear more floral pieces. So if you're looking for some really beautiful feminine floral, kind of almost like traditional, like semi-conservative, but still very feminine and very pretty dresses, then stay tuned for that because I've got some lovely things to share with you coming up over the next couple of weeks. So without further ado, let's jump on into today's video, and I hope that you will enjoy. Alright guys, so here we are in my closet. This is where I keep my perfumes. I've always kept them in here to keep them out of the heat and the light. And yeah, today's video is my final 5 fragrances. So today's video title was not clickbait, although I did not just recently declutter hundreds of perfumes, but over the last few years, if you guys have been watching my channel, you know that literally hundreds of bottles of perfumes have come through these doors and exited, because in the year 2020, when the lockdown hit, I started getting into fragrances. I developed a passion for perfume. I started collecting a couple of them. I shared them with you on YouTube, and before I knew it, I was a full-blown perfume reviewer for a couple of years. And so I bought lots of perfumes, and I also had lots of perfumes gifted to me from companies. I started working with companies, and at one point I think I was getting anywhere between 5 and 10 perfumes every single month being sent to my front door. And so it was just a lot. And although it was wonderful and exciting and fun, and I got to discover so many amazing fragrances, and it's not something I regret doing, but it was just very overwhelming. And along with all of that stuff came also deadlines and obligations and requirements and all of this other red tape that came with it, and it sort of took the joy out of perfume for me. It was no longer something I just loved to do for myself and something I was interested in and wanting to explore and discover, but it was becoming like something I had to do. It was like a job or an obligation, and it kind of just took the joy out of it for me. So not only that, but it didn't really fit well with me. It didn't align with my minimalist values. There was always this part of me deep down that only wanted no more than 5 perfumes. I was telling you guys that forever, and I think that's why I ended up doing so many declutters. And so over the last couple of years, I have been gradually whittling down, and I think about 2 years ago, I think I still had maybe 50 to 75 perfumes. And then over the last year, I managed to get it down to 40, and then I got it down to 20, and then I got it down to 10, and I finally got it to 5. And it was not easy, believe it or not, to take it from 10 to 5. Didn't expect it to be easy, but I also didn't think it would be that difficult. But it's funny how you form attachments to things. However, I have to tell you guys, now that I've decluttered from about 10 perfumes to about 5, which I just did a couple weeks ago, I don't really miss the other ones. In fact, I don't even remember what some of them were. I really don't miss them. And I think that if you guys are trying to downsize or declutter as well, just take solace in the fact that yes, it can be hard to let go of things, but in the end, you really don't miss them. If there's something you really, really miss that badly, you can always go out and get it later if you need to. You know, I asked myself many, many times, actually, I would come to my collection and I would ask myself, theoretically, which are my top 5? Which 5 would I keep? If I could only keep 5, if I had to run out and buy 5 more perfumes tomorrow, if all my perfumes went away, which 5 would I probably go out and repurchase? And all of those questions and all of that introspection and everything led me to these 5 fragrances. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys my truly small, minimalist perfume collection. Very, very happy to have it. I might disable comments on this video because, believe it or not, you guys, I know that most of you are so wonderful and supportive, but believe it or not, there are still a couple of keyboard warriors / trolls who love to get to the comments and say rude things like, oh, it's just a matter of time before your collection blows up again. And I don't need that kind of hate in my life. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. So I'm just probably going to disable comments just to keep it positive. I want this to be purely positive. I always want people to remember that just because you declutter something doesn't mean it's not a great thing. Doesn't mean it's not a nice fragrance. It doesn't mean it wasn't a nice pair of shoes. You have an option in life. You have free will. You can choose to keep everything that you like, everything that's beautiful, everything that is pretty, if that's what you want, if that makes you happy. But for me personally, I just don't want that many things. And it makes me so happy when I look at my perfume tray and I only have 5 perfumes. It makes it very easy for me to pick, what am I going to wear today? I feel like I have something for everything. I literally have a perfume for every occasion. Probably the only thing I am missing is a freshie, a summer freshie, but I'm not huge into fresh perfumes anyways. I never really have been, but that would be the only area that if I was to find something, it would probably be for like the high heat of the summertime. And unfortunately, I don't live near any perfume counters and I don't feel like blind buying perfumes. So that is something that perhaps I'll add into my collection if I do find a really nice summer freshie. Like I know that there's a couple new from Chanel. Yeah, so other than that though, you guys, I'm pretty happy with it. I really do miss my Chanel Chance. That was a pretty good summer freshie and I could see myself going back and revisiting that one because I really don't have very many fresh perfumes to wear for like the gym or a super hot day or something like that in the summertime. And I will say one thing, out of all the perfumes that I've decluttered, you guys, there's only one perfume I truly regret decluttering. And I've thought about this many times. It's actually popped into my head many, many times. Out of all the fragrances I have let go, there's only one that I really wish I would have kept. And unfortunately, it's discontinued, so I can't get it again. And that is Louis Vuitton's Contre Moi. I'll put a picture on the screen for you. Unfortunately, when you have tons of perfumes and you do these large declutters, sometimes perfumes make their way into those declutters that later on you do regret. And now that I only have 5, I really wish Contre Moi was on this tray. It was such a me fragrance. It was a perfect, beautiful, kind of herbal, chocolatey, powdery vanilla. It was so luxurious and so beautiful smelling, and it smelled kind of vintage and antique. I always told you guys it smelled like the inside of an old suitcase, but with a beautiful, warm vanilla added. It just smelled luxurious and gorgeous, and I don't know why they discontinued it. Sorry, bumped the camera. I don't know why they discontinued it. That is the only perfume, if I was to look back, that's the only fragrance I truly, truly, truly miss decluttering. Other than that, honestly, I don't miss any of them. So yeah, that really tells you something, because at one point I thought I loved 75 fragrances, and maybe I did. They were nice, but they weren't going to get worn. Perfume has a shelf life. This just fits me, what I want. This makes me happy. So without further ado, let's get into my collection. I'm going to go through this just like old times, tell you guys what the notes are, tell you what they smell like. So make yourself a cup of coffee if you haven't already, and let's dive in. By the way, if you guys are wondering where this tray came from, this is actually just a antique inspired tray from Amazon. I actually had this tray a long time ago. You guys might remember. I used to put my perfumes and jewelry and stuff on it, and it's a really beautiful tray. It was really affordable, and then I just found this lace and floral kind of placemat / doily thing to put on top, because I've been really liking the vintage antique inspired aesthetic lately in my home, something a little more traditional and feminine looking and not so kind of modern contemporary. But let's start out with Gold Couture. So this is Viva La Juicy Gold Couture. This is a perfume that is very flirty, it's very fun, it's very playful, it smells quite youthful, it's very sweet. And this one I like to wear kind of for date nights, not for going out. It's not like a bold, classy, sophisticated smelling perfume, but I like to wear this just for like kind of intimate time, that kind of thing, because it's a very yeah, it's a very flirty fragrance. My boyfriend loves it. And this one has notes of, in the top, it has wild berries, gardenia, and lily of the valley. In the middle, it has honeysuckle, jasmine sambac, and vanilla orchid. And in the base, it has caramel, vanilla, sandalwood, and praline. And this perfume is just so much fun. It's so flirty. It's so feminine and so playful. I love the combination of like the caramel, the berries, the jasmine. It's just very sweet, very enjoyable, very feminine. I know that a lot of people don't like the Couture perfumes, the Gold Couture and the Viva La Juicy perfumes, but honestly, I have always really liked this one. This is my favorite out of the Viva La Juicy range. I prefer it to all of the other Viva La Juicy fragrances. This one's actually very similar to Gucci Gorgeous Gardenia, and a lot of people really like that one. I think it's just a very likable scent profile. Gorgeous Gardenia was floral but with some brown sugar, a little bit different than this one. This one definitely goes a little bit more in that vanilla caramel direction. It also smells a little bit to me kind of like Sol de Janeiro Cheirosa 69, I believe, 62? I can't remember, you guys, this is terrible. Sol de Janeiro Cheirosa 62. Anyways, the Boom Boom Cream, that's what this also kind of smells a little bit like. It's just very delicious and scrumptious and caramelly and feminine. And yeah, it is a little bit young. It is a little bit youthful. It's not one that I take really seriously. It's not one that I wear when I want to smell sophisticated or mature or anything like that. It's just a really fun one that is great for certain occasions. And it definitely does bring out my girly, fun, feminine, playful side. So that is Gold Couture from Viva La Juicy. So this one has stayed in my collection. I mean, out of all the hundreds of perfumes I've had, some of which were hundreds and hundreds of dollars, I had so many ridiculously crazy expensive opulent fragrances. Gold Couture stood the test of time. All right, the next one is another designer fragrance, and it is, actually I think they're all designer now. This is Black Opium Le Parfum. So this is actually a newer one to my collection, and this is one of the flankers of the very popular Black Opium. So first of all, I think that all the Black Opium fragrances are very good. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. I really love this pear jasmine coffee accord that is in all of the Black Opiums. Yeah, honestly, I've liked all of them. The only one I haven't really liked is the cherry one that recently came out. I just don't like the scent of cherry, so it kind of took it in a medicinal direction for me that I didn't like very much. This one, however, I really, really like, and this one I think is one of the best Black Opiums because this is not just the original Black Opium, but it has an overdose of vanilla in it, and it also has the addition of solar notes. And solar notes, I always describe to people as smelling like kind of almondy, warm, sunny, kind of like a hug on a warm summer's day. That's what solar notes smell like to me, like warm, like cozy rays of sunshine. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I get from it. So it's like a very elevated, bright, beautiful vanilla that you could wear any time of year. It performs beautifully. I have given compliments to people who've worn this, people I have run into in the store, and they told me they were wearing this and they smelled so beautiful. I love how it smells on myself. I have received lots of compliments wearing this perfume. It's just a beautiful scent, luxuriously, beautifully, addictively gourmand, but also without being too gourmand. It still does smell like a perfume. It's sexy, but it's also appropriate for every day. It's a great fragrance, and it has a good performance as well. So the notes that you have in here are cinnamon, pear, and green mandarin in the opening. In the middle, you have solar notes, jasmine, sambac, and orange blossom. And in the base, you have 3 different types of vanilla. You have Madagascar vanilla, bourbon vanilla, and vanilla absolute. You also have coffee, patchouli, and vanilla orchid. And vanilla orchid is another note that I really love in fragrances. Vanilla orchid is actually obviously not a real note. It is a synthetic one created in lab. But for some reason, whenever they put vanilla orchid in fragrances, I love it. Yeah, this one is just, it's beautiful. It is so good. And I have smelled so many different perfumes along this line, even some really higher end ones that had a similar note profile but slightly different notes, but ultimately they still smelled pretty much the same, which is why it's so popular. Yeah, it's feminine, it's vanillic, it's sweet but not too sweet. In comparison to something like Kali's Vanilla 28. Vanilla 28 goes in more of a sugary direction. This one has more of a creamy, not so sugary sweet, not so ambery or woody direction. This one is a more like true vanilla absolute, not so much an ambery brown sugar. And I just love this. Unfortunately, the bottle is opaque, so I can't see how much is left, but this is one that I wear a lot. And every time I wear it, I am reminded how much I love it. It's a perfume that when I smell it on my clothes, if I wear it on a cashmere sweater or something, and a couple days later I pick up that sweater, it just smells absolutely heavenly. You can't go wrong. So this is Black Opium Le Parfum. All right, the next one that I kept is Killians Princess. So this is a perfume that I tried a few years ago. Wasn't really in love with it, although at that time I was smelling so many different perfumes that it probably just kind of maybe paled in comparison to some of the other ones I was smelling at the time. Revisited it, and it has become one of my absolute favorite perfumes. So this is just an absolutely beautiful, intoxicating, feminine, floral, fluffy, soft, powdery, green scent. It has notes of lemon in the opening, green tea, ginger, peach, hedione, jasmine, and apple in the middle, and in the base you have lots of marshmallow, vanilla, and benzoin. Okay, so how do I explain this fragrance? So for me, this is just a very fluffy, cozy, kind of all season appropriate, to be honest, fragrance. It has a little bit of freshness and a little bit of greenness coming from that green tea, the ginger, the peach, the apple, the lemon, making it appropriate for daytime wear and summer wear and even the office if you really wanted to. But it has just enough of that cozy, warm, fluffy, sexy marshmallow vanilla to make it appropriate for date nights, nighttime wear, fall, and winter. So this is a perfume I really think you can wear all year round. I have gotten so many compliments on this fragrance, you guys. I told you a story that I wore this into my local bank, and two of the cashiers asked me what I was wearing, or two of the tellers, I should say. And when I told them, I came back about a month later, and the same bank teller was wearing this. I could tell because I could smell it on her. So people love the way that this smells, and when they smell it on you, they want to know what it is, and they want to go get it for themselves. It's an absolutely incredible fragrance. It's super addictive. I love that they have added a little bit of floral component to this because of that jasmine. I think if they hadn't put the jasmine in here, it would have lacked a bit of a clean, kind of cool, white, airy sophistication about it, if that makes any sense. I think it just elevated it a little bit and gives it that white floral touch, and it just smells amazing. I like something that is perfumey with gourmand touches, with vanilla touches, but isn't too gourmand. I don't want to smell too simple, and I don't want to smell too straight up like a food. I want to smell feminine and classy, but also like delicious and good enough to eat, and that's what Princess does for me. Yeah, it's just utterly beautiful. Definitely it's one of the best perfumes I've ever smelled in my life. And I love it so much. And this one I wore a lot last fall and winter. I haven't worn it much this summer. I've been gravitating more toward my Black Opium and Mon Guerlain, to be honest. But yeah, so that is Princess. Also, with the price of inflation with designer perfumes, but for the price, this is actually very, very affordable. There's a lot of like lower end designer perfumes that are actually astronomical in price, like some of the new Marc Jacobs perfumes that are like $200. Killian Princess is about $200 as well. I would go with Princess. I would save your money. I wouldn't be getting any of the new Gucci's or any of the new Marc Jacobs. I would just go with some Killian perfumes. I think they're worth it. So I absolutely love this. Just for some context, I also do have a travel size of Love Don't Be Shy. It's in my travel bag. I really like that one too, but I didn't want to spend $350 on a full bottle of Killian Love Don't Be Shy because it's going to take me forever to go through it. So, but I do love a lot of the Killian fragrances. Killian makes some incredible, incredible fragrances. Okay, next we have, I'll save the heaviest one for last. Next we have one that has been in my collection for quite a long time, and that is Mon Guerlain from Guerlain. So I have done lots of videos telling you guys that, you know, the only perfume you need, if you only buy one perfume, if I influence you to buy one perfume only, if I could only keep one perfume, this perfume just continually comes out on top. It has everything I love in a fragrance. It is all encompassing. It is all occasion appropriate. It's beautiful. It has good performance. It makes me feel wonderful. So the notes that you have in Mon Guerlain, in the opening, you have bergamot and lavender. In the middle, you have iris, jasmine, and rose. And in the base, you have Tahitian vanilla, coumarin, Australian sandalwood, licorice, benzoin, and patchouli. So it is mostly a lavender vanilla perfume, but it does have floral notes and fresh notes that round it out and give it just a little something extra. So it's not just straight up a lavender vanilla perfume. It's a little bit more complex than that. It also has a little bit of a spiciness to it. You've got that coumarin and that licorice. It gives it kind of this warm, spicy kick. You also have a little bit of patchouli just to kind of ground it out. You've got benzoin, which makes it very kind of resinous almost. You've got this creaminess and this powderiness coming from this iris flower and this sandalwood. So it has a creamy, powdery, slightly spicy kick to it. Very feminine, very vanilla. It smells cozy. It smells very traditional. It smells very womanly. It smells comforting. It smells familiar. As you can see, this is the largest dent that I have in any bottle. Well, actually, all of my bottles are opaque except this one, which is kind of annoying. So you can't see the dents, but these are my most worn perfumes. Truthfully, these 5 are my most worn. And this is my most worn perfume to date. This is also my most complimented to date. I've never had more compliments on a perfume than this one. Even if I wear it to work, which technically I work in healthcare, we're not really supposed to wear perfumes to work. I don't spray heavily. I spray maybe 1 or 2 sprays kind of like under my shirt so that it's not too potent and it kind of just wafts through my shirt as I'm moving around. Even so, I have had so many compliments, you guys. It's insane, the number of patients and family members. And you know what they say when they tell me like that it smells good? They will describe it as just so nice. And that sounds pretty plain and pretty boring. They don't say, oh my gosh, it's amazing, it's this, it's that. They just say, it just smells so nice. You just smell so lovely. And that's what it is. It's just lovely and it's likable. Everybody likes it. I have had patients, family members actually ask me what perfume I'm wearing and ask me to write it down for them. I know that this is cliche because you'll hear perfume reviewers say all the time, I've had people ask me to write down this perfume. So people say that a lot about a lot of perfumes, but this is the only perfume that's really happened, except Killians Princess. It happened with that one as well. But honestly, people will ask me, please write that down. I want to get it for my family member. I can't tell you how many times I've written this down for people. I have heard that this perfume has been reformulated, and if that's true, that's just such a disgrace. I haven't smelled the new one. I don't know if it's been reformulated. For sure, that's just what I've heard through the grapevine. Lucky for me, I do have a backup bottle of this. It is the only perfume that I still have a backup bottle of because I knew I would go through this and I knew I would want another, and then I also heard it had been reformulated, so I didn't want to let go of my backup. However, an alternative to this one that I did think about getting, I have thought about getting it and either just adding it or replacing this one, is Mon Guerlain Intense. That one has a pink bottle, or sorry, a pink cap, and the juice is also pinker. And that one to me just smells like this one, but they've added maybe some white chocolate or something. So it has like a little bit more of a deep vanilla smell. It's a little bit more sensual. It's not quite as light and fresh. It's a little deeper and more heavy on the vanilla. And to me, it smells like they've put chocolate in it or something, just a touch of chocolate. And it's just really, really good as well. Such a compliment getter, so cozy, so feminine, so beautiful. So this perfume you could literally wear to the office. You could wear this day to day. You could wear this as a signature scent. You can wear this for a date night. Just such a great fragrance. And that's to me why this is the one. That if I could only keep one perfume, this would be the one I would keep. No word of a lie. It just works for so many occasions. And stay till the end of the video, you guys. I will share with you an incredible layering combination with these perfumes that you will not want to miss. So that is Mon Guerlain. After this one, I have my backup, but I also kind of want to get an intense version just in case they decide they want to discontinue that one or reformulate that one too, because that would just be such a travesty if they would do that. And finally, you guys, the last one that's on my tray is Christian Louboutin Luby Rouge, the giant bottle in the back. I'm going to take the cap off because it is very heavy. So this is Luby Rouge. This was a blind purchase over 2 years ago now. And you can see the dent in here. This bottle is almost opaque, but you can see the dent. I'm missing about probably Probably 30% of this bottle is gone, you guys. It's expensive. This is a 90 ml. I believe it costs something like $380 or $400 or something Canadian. Would I blind buy a perfume for $400 right now? Absolutely not. We are not there anymore. I've just been moving away from that. But this one was one of those blind buy purchases that did turn out to be successful. It was a love at first sniff. It was an instant love. My boyfriend instantly loved it. I instantly loved it. And it has remained a favorite to this day. So this is a perfume that makes me feel opulent. It makes me feel luxurious. It makes me feel bougie. It makes me feel expensive, extravagant. Everything about it is extravagant. Everything from the bottle to the way it smells. This only has 3 notes that are listed. There might be more, but the only 3 notes I've ever found are iris, cardamom, and vanilla. I love cardamom in a fragrance. If you guys haven't smelled cardamom, it is like a kind of a warm, slightly woody, clean smelling spice, and it just adds this warmth, this depth, this sophistication to a fragrance without smelling too masculine, without smelling too much like a forest, without smelling too cinnamony or too sweet or too much like a pumpkin pie or something like that. It's nothing like that. It's just a very cool toned wood. Does that make sense? It's a cool toned woody spice that just adds this super elevated, expensive air to a perfume. Otherwise, it is mostly powdery and vanilla. Wow, you guys. This perfume is incredible. I love it so much. I hope they never discontinue it. If I hear this one is going to be discontinued, I will have to get a backup because it's one of my favorites. My only gripe with this perfume is that it doesn't have the best performance. I wish, especially for the price, that it had a little bit better performance, because with this one, I do feel like I have to overspray. I feel like I have to spray a lot. I feel like I have to reapply. This has become my vacation perfume. And not tropical vacation, but because when I wear this, it makes me feel really expensive and really fabulous. And when I go away on trips and stuff like that, that's my opportunity to eat at nice restaurants, wear my fancy clothing, really get out and enjoy the town, put on my high heels and feel fabulous and feel girly. Because I don't get to do that a lot in my day-to-day life. For the most part, I'm at home, I'm looking after my daughter, I'm looking after the dog, I'm cleaning the house. I pretty much live in loungewear and gym clothing and activewear. And then I will put on a nice dress here and there to go out and do things. But when I go on vacation, that's truly my time to feel fabulous. And that's what this perfume does to me. It helps me feel fabulous. And it kind of just reminds me of like the most expensive hotel on earth that you can think of. It just smells amazing and expensive. It's feminine. It's sexy. I believe that the inspiration for this perfume is Paris burlesque, something along those lines. So it kind of makes me think like a red flapper girl outfit, sexy high heels, red lipstick, an old building, maybe with some cigars or something in the building. Just the utmost in femininity. I think partly why it kind of smells a little bit like lipstick is the iris and the vanilla. If you've ever smelled a MAC lipstick, it kind of smells like MAC lipstick a little bit, but with this added spice. I love the way MAC lipsticks smell, by the way. And so that's what that iris and vanilla does. It gives it this sexy, girly lipstick scent. But then with that super, super sexy, airy cardamom to just elevate it. An amazing combination, for lack of a better word. A stellar combination. You can't get much better than vanilla, iris, and cardamom. I don't think you can. In fact, those 3 notes, vanilla and cardamom for sure, are in a lot of really, really popular spicy fragrances. So you just can't go wrong. So that is Luby Rouge, the most expensive perfume on my tray, one of my favorites. Remains a favorite to this day, and I love it. I just wish it was more, I wish it had better sillage, and I wish it lasted a little bit longer. It's not bad, it's not terrible, but it's not $400 good. But the scent is $400 good. So this one and Contrama from Louis Vuitton would probably be my 2 best vanilla ever. Wish I would have kept Contrama. This one and Contrama also, by the way, both gave me the same feeling. So I will forever be on the lookout for something like Contrama. And you best believe if I find something at all similar, it'll show up on my tray. This is just my vibe. This is what I like. And perfume tastes are always changing. However, My thoughts on these perfumes have never really changed, aside from Killians Princess, which it took me some time to get into. I think when I first tried Princess, I wasn't really sure about the green tea. I also wasn't sure about the performance. This was a long time ago though, and I just wasn't sure about it. All of these have been loves at first sniff and, you know, have stayed in my collection since then. So these are my 4 perfumes. Now I'm going to share with you guys the layering combination. Try it now and thank me later. Okay, so I thought we would switch backgrounds just to share with you this layering combination. So this combination, I just tried it one day, wondering how it would be. It turned out to be such an amazing combination. The 2 perfumes work so well together. I actually think that all the perfumes I have in my collection, with the exception of maybe Gold Couture, all of them could probably be layered because they're all vanilla perfumes. There's no surprise there that all of my favorite perfumes that remained had vanilla in them. That's just one of my favorite notes to wear. So this combination is none other than Mon Guerlain and Black Opium Le Parfum. So do yourselves a favor, you guys, if you own both of these perfumes, which I feel like a lot of my followers probably do. If you're into perfume, you probably have at least one Black Opium and you probably have at least one version of the Mon Guerlain. For some reason, these 2 just work so well together. I mean, think about it. It's coffee, it's lavender, it's vanilla, it's jasmine. Both of them have overlapping notes. Both of them are a little bit powdery. Both of them are overdoses of vanilla. Then you've got this beautiful coffee. You've got the lavender. Those 2 notes go so well together and have been done together in lots of other perfumes, including the very popular Replica Coffee Break, which is another favorite perfume of mine, but I no longer have it. Again, just because I wanted to whittle down. But that combination is just delicious. This combination together it's stunning. You know how sometimes you layer perfumes and they're okay, but sometimes they're conflicting or they don't quite go that well together, or there's something about it that just isn't jiving, not mixing that well. This is a combination that you will want to wear over and over and over again. So it adds the elements of the very elegant, feminine, fancy, sophisticated, kind of mature part, which is the Mon Guerlain. Then you have the beautiful, the sexy, fun-loving, flirtatious, but still very classy, I think, Black Opium. These 2 together is incredible, incredible, incredible. I haven't worn it very much, this combination, because I literally just discovered it a little while ago. And like I said, I don't wear perfume every single day, but you know what I was tempted to do, you guys? And I don't know what you guys think about this. You can get perfume bottles on Amazon. You can get like vintage perfume bottles or decants, and you can get some fairly nice decants. And I thought actually, because I wouldn't mind bringing that combination with me, like if I travel, I thought I might actually add equal parts Black Opium and Mon Guerlain into a perfume bottle or into a decant. And then I would have essentially my own kind of homemade perfume concoction without having to bring both bottles with me. You can get travel sizes, but I don't know, you guys, I've never seen a travel size of Mon Guerlain. There's always Black Opium travel sizes, but I've never seen a travel size of Mon Guerlain. So when I go away on the weekend, I don't necessarily want just one or the other. Or if I travel, I don't want to have to bring both bottles. So that is something I would recommend that you do. I think I might try that. If I try it, I'll let you guys know how it works. But it's fantastic, and that way you could just keep it in your purse with you and respray it throughout the day as needed. Also, both of these perfumes have amazing lasting power, so the performance is great. The way that they smell together is amazing. It's just utterly addictive. It's probably the nicest layering combination I've ever found in my life. So give it a shot if you have it. The way that I recommend to layer perfumes, by the way, is not to spray on your skin one directly on top of the other. So like, don't spray on your wrist and then spray the other one and mix them together. Don't do that. What I like to do is I spray my perfume all over. So I would take it and I would literally do 4 or 5 sprays all over my whole front of my body, maybe one on each inside of each elbow. Then I would take the other perfume and do the same thing, 4 or 5 sprays, and then maybe a quick one on a different part of my arm. The beauty of layering perfumes is that because something happens, you walk outside your house and you get a whiff of one perfume, and then 5 minutes later you get a whiff of the other perfume, and then sometimes you get a whiff of them both together, and it creates some kind of magic. I love layering perfumes because you're always going to have something unique. You're never going to smell the same as anyone else. Nobody will be able to quite put their finger on it. They're going to know you smell amazing, but they're not quite going to know what you're wearing and what you did. So with that being said, I actually want to try layering Black Opium Le Parfum with Luby Rouge, because I think, again, that combination would be fantastic. Everything that's in Luby Rouge is also in Black Opium, except you have the added cardamom. And Black Opium, unfortunately, believe it or not, has better performance than Luby Rouge. So mixing this one with Luby Rouge, I think, again, stellar combination. I think that would be fantastic. Even Mon Guerlain and Luby Rouge would probably be okay. So that is my layering combination that I 100% recommend you to try, and I'm going to try putting them both together in a travel atomizer or a decant and see how that goes, and I will update you guys. So that was it for today's updated perfume collection, my final 5. I hope that you guys really enjoyed seeing what I have here, and yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you all very soon in my next video. Bye for now.